I want my business to grow fast. I like companies to grow really, really fast. I love the change. I love the acceleration. I love the feeling of accomplishing. I love to make a bigger impact. And so when Deanna on my team, who does our content and also coaches for us, wrote in one of her reports back to the company that she has reconciled that in our company, a week feels like a month and a month feels like so much more because of how fast we get things done and how much happens in such a short period of time. We have always created this time warp environment in our businesses, and you should too.
I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future, and instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be.
When you look at most companies out there, time moves slow and people are waiting for what's next. That's one of the biggest issues in most businesses, and not just entrepreneurial businesses, but especially in entrepreneurial businesses, because people don't know what's coming next, so they're always waiting to be told what's going to happen and what the next strategy is and what the next thing is and where things are going to go. And here's what happens when you have strategic planning, where you share a strategic plan with your team, where they know what you're going to do and how you're going to get there, and there's clarity around it. Then the pace of the business that you run will be extraordinary. Because when you have a strategic plan and every member of the team knows their role, everyone can drive the momentum and everyone can drive the business forward. So it's not just the entrepreneur trying to show up and drive the business forward. You know, Lee Iacocca once said a lot of times, the speed of the boss is the speed of the team. And that's been misinterpreted to say that the faster an entrepreneur moves, the faster the team will move, or your team will never move faster than you do, or something like that. And that's not what Iacocca was saying. What he was saying is the faster you implement, the faster you share with your team, the faster you change behavior, the faster that you evolve as a leader, that's how fast your team is going to grow. And so if you create a system, a cadence where you are showing people where you're going, if they understand there's a strategic plan, they know how you're going to get there, and there's a system where you communicate with your team in a way that they all hear you, and then you consistently fill in the gaps. You consistently build the right processes so that you can continue doing the things you need to keep doing. You get the right projects in place so you can get the things done that are going to grow the business, and then you consistently hire the right people. Your business will grow at a speed that literally warps time, and people will talk about it. In fact, I look at some of the clients we're working with right now, like Wallace and Ashlyn Nelson. They are amazing. They run a supplement business. It's a 30-year-old business. It had been matured for a while. It went 3 years at around the 5 to 6 million mark. They really couldn't break out of that. Then we spent some time with them. By the way, they were going to get out of it, but we accelerated that for them. And in under a year, they went from between 5 and 6 million to $9.7 million run rate. I look at Emily Hirsch, who has, again, a clear cadence, clear system in her business where she's showing her team where they're going. Just a little over a year ago, Emily was under $1 million a year. She was just at $1 million run rate some months. Now she's at a $3 million run rate and growing like crazy. She's gone from a 4-person team to a 30-person team because she's consistently adjusting, and she has a strategic plan in place. She has a communications cadence in place. Her company is warping time. And I want you to understand that speed of the boss is the speed of the team. You can't misinterpret that, because how you show up as a leader does not drive pace in a business. In fact, how you show up a leader and the process you use to communicate with your team and the process you use to plan and the process you use to complete projects, those are what drive pace in your business. Because when the systems to get things done are clear, when the systems of what is supposed to get done is clear, when everyone knows what's happening, this is where you get into crazy momentum. And that's where that time warp feeling comes from. A players want a time warp feeling business. Deanna, who works with us, is an absolute A player. I mean, she's off the charts A player. We got so much more than we thought we were getting when we hired Deanna. She has incredible amounts of leadership experience. She's has a ton of experience in coaching and in understanding information products and in curriculum. She knows curriculum so well. She's helped us rebuild all of our curriculum. She's amazing. She's an A player. She wants to be in a time warp. She wants to feel that acceleration, that momentum. In fact, that's what she said. You know, I've resolved that this is a time warp, but I like it. Like our entire team does, because when everyone on the team is in a time warp, they're all evolving. They're all getting better. With the right process, you'll not only grow your company, but you also grow the individuals on your team. And when you're growing the business and the people, that's when you have just incredible breakaway, out of control success. And when you don't drive pace through process, then any momentum you and your team get to is temporary. You feel these peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys. You know, I'm not saying that we don't have challenging months. We do. And we certainly have challenges on some projects every once in a while, but we don't have peaks and valleys. We have consistent forward progress. The team can see it because it's a strategic plan that gets measured and everyone gets it communicated to them. So we consistently grow forward. So here's where you need to go to create that time warp level growth in your business. One, you need a clear strategic plan. I say it all the time. You need to sit down and create a plan so that everyone on the team knows what you're doing in the time periods that you're putting forth. And we use the standard time periods. You know, our planning system is simple. We have entrepreneurs look at their client-centric mission. If you don't have one, look at my podcast that says client-centric mission. You can build one. Then 1 year outcomes, 90-day targets, your 1 year goals, 1 year objectives, 90-day targets, 30-day goals, weekly commitments, and then every day you execute in a huddle. When you have a system like that, it creates a massive time warp. And then you need a system or process for communication. We do the same thing. So we have our annual meetings, our quarterlies, our monthlies, weeklies, and our daily huddles. And the reason why we execute so fast is we communicate in the same way that we plan. So the entire system fits together. And then 3, if you want to create a time warp existence in your business and get it to go fast, scoreboards. You create a series of scoreboards. You measure what is important in the business. Show your team what's important. Every morning in our daily huddle, we go through a series of scoreboards that indicates to our team what we're doing well, what's going on that's doing well, and we go through the measurements that they need to see in order to know that the business is going in the right direction. If you put this system in place, you can create time warping momentum where the business grows, your team grows, and it will blow you away at how much you can get done. And, you know, Katie and I have done this. We put a business on the Inc. 500 list 3 years in a row. And here's what I can tell you I remember with perspective, because when you're going through putting a business on the Inc. 500 list, it's overwhelming. It was overwhelming for me back then. And right now, the business that we're running today, it's not overwhelming only because we have our systems and our cadence and it's so dialed in now after working with hundreds of clients since 2011. It's so clean and it's so much easier for us. So we're not overwhelmed by it. But back then I was. And with perspective, I can tell you, you put a company on the Inc. 500, we grew our business from 0 to almost 10 million in 4 years. And then we went to as high as 13. And we went from 2 people, Katie and I, when we started, to almost 100. And with contractors, well over 100, probably approaching 200. And it was time warping momentum that got us there. And the way that we did it is we used our systems, and this was back before we had them completely productized like we use them today. We use exactly what we show our clients. We want the same type of results that our clients are getting, and we're in the same place. We started the business that we have today was started completely new in July of 2017. And today we are under 2 years old, and there are months where we've hit $3 million run rate, and we are well placed at between $2 and $3 million run rate and accelerating past that. It's because we have the right systems in place, the right process in place, and we create time warping momentum. And what it will do for you, if you can do this, and every business can, you can do this. You can contact us to do it, or go through the podcast, listen to enough of my episodes, and you can assemble this yourself. Put together the system so that your business starts growing at a time warping speed, and you will not only keep A players, but they won't ever leave you. They will help you recruit other A players. You will build a formidable team, because the company that's in momentum gets into greater momentum because everybody wants to be there. You've got this. And if you want some help, we can help you. Go to billionairecode.com, fill out a brief application, and we will show you exactly where you are on the Billionaire Code, which is the 9 levels that every entrepreneur goes through to go from $0 to $100 million. And let us show you what you should be focused on now, what you will be focusing on next. And then that way you can start preparing for exactly what's going to happen to you as an entrepreneur. One of the biggest places we waste time, outside of not having a forward plan and not creating the right type of momentum, is focusing on something that can help the business, but at the wrong time. If you apply the right strategy at the wrong time, you will go nowhere, even if you execute perfectly. So if you've been doing the right things, or doing things the right way, and you've been succeeding, but your business hasn't been improving, that may be why. Go to billionairecode.com. We will give you the Rosetta Stone of how to grow your business. You answer some questions on our application. You will get the full results of the billionairecode.com, our new ebook, The Billionaire Code Decoded, and you can set up a call with a member of my team to see if we can help you and your business grow so fast it creates a time warp.